Everybody, Mr. Covey here, and this is problem number 32 from section 9.7. And they ask you to write a Taylor polynomial centered at pi with n equals 2, means second degree, for x squared cosine of x. Now, since it's centered at pi, not 0, we can't use any of our little transformation ideas. We can't take the Maclaurin series for pi, or for cosine and shift it around. We can't do that. So we're going to do this out the long way, which is we're going to have to find the first two derivatives. So we have our original function, x squared cosine x. We're going to find the first derivative and the second derivative. And we're going to make all these little charts that Lemke likes to make, which is a good thing to do. So I'm going to do my first derivative. We use product rule. First times derivative of the second plus second times derivative of the first. And then I'm going to do the second derivative, and I'm going to have to do some product rule again. I'm going to do it twice. So again, like this thing is one product. To do the derivative of that, I have to do a product rule. So I'm going to do the first thing times the derivative of the second thing. The derivative of negative sine is negative cosine plus the second thing times the derivative of the first thing. Probably should put like parentheses there. Okay, so that's just for that part. And then I have to do the derivative of this part plus first times derivative of the second. Derivative of 2x is 2. I'm going to put it out front. Plus second, which is 2x, times derivative of the first. Derivative of cosine is negative sine. I'm going to put the negative over there. Oops, sorry. All right, so I have my first derivative, my second derivative, and now I'm going to plug in pi, okay? Because I want to really get out, and I usually put this in a little bit more of a chart like Lemke says to do. Always do what Mrs. Lemke says. But I'm going to figure out these three values now just by plugging in. Okay, you should be able to do this without a calculator. Okay, so f of pi is pi squared times cosine of pi. Cosine of pi is negative 1, so it's negative pi squared. F prime of pi, it's going to be pi squared times negative sine of pi. Sine of pi is 0, so that first term is going to go away. Cosine of pi is negative 1, so it's going to be negative 1 times 2 pi, so it's going to be negative 2 pi. And for the second derivative, you'll notice we have a negative sign, or negative 2x sine of x, and a term, I know is both negative. Okay, let's plug in. So we're going to have pi squared times negative cosine of pi. Cosine of pi is negative 1, so the negatives cancel, so it's positive, so it's pi squared. This term is going to go away because the sine of pi is 0. We're going to have plus 2 times the cosine of pi. The cosine of pi is negative 1, so minus 2. And this term is going to go away. So we should be able to do that without a calculator. Unit circle stuff. Good stuff, you know. All right, so then now we're going to put this all together into our form. As a reminder, this is what it looks like. Okay, this is the key thing to know. And sometimes you call this p sub 2 of x because it's a second degree polynomial. Okay, and now we're just going to put all the pieces in there. So we're going to have negative pi squared plus, we can say minus 2 pi. Times x minus pi, 1 factorial is 1, so we have no denominator there. Plus, should put this in parentheses, pi squared minus 2 times x minus pi squared over 2 factorial. Okay. I know it's a laborious process, but you definitely need to be able to do that. Okay, that concludes this video.